mission, and now we are, I think, trying to create a different kind of situation here. Firstly, that in terms of the cultural and religious identity of people, the so-called freedom really is in name, because the freedom essentially implies co-equality of some kind. Otherwise, it is no freedom, because if there are constraints on freedom, because it's a relationship of a transaction, and if it is not a transactional situation, I think really the persons are constrained. That's one part of the thing. And then
I think we take it one by one.
Okay, yes, sir.
Actually, you are thinking the modern sense of a secular state. What is a secular state? All religions as religions are equal, in theory at least, although every state can have some state religion, but no, all are equal. But regarding the collective system, the political socio-economic system, there is going to be no say of any religion. This is 100% against Islam. As I described yesterday, Islam is a deen, not a mazhab. It's a system. There can be no two systems coexisting. Islam doesn't believe in that. One has to be superior, the other inferior. The inferior one will become mazhab. That will be a religion. A set of beliefs and set of worship and this, that's all. But the system would be the dominant system. Will be, for example, for America, they want its own system of economy, their own system of liberal democracy and secular democracy, etc., etc. Secondly, this concept of minority and this percentage, 51% or 49%, you know, actually Islam as a system can only be established through a revolutionary process. And a revolution is always brought about by a minority. Were the communists in majority in Russia to bring about the Bolshevik revolution? They have an ideology, they present the ideology, it is accepted, and then those people who accept they are integrated, organized, and then they topple the system. So this is actually Islam if it comes, and I think it is going to come. It is going to be the just world order of Islam.
I think this concept really about the revolution coming from a minority and creating an Islamic state possibly will hold good where the very significant majority of the population is Muslim.
No, Brother Nirmal, we have before us the model of Muhammad. He was a single person. He propagated an ideology. He got one by one. Even after 10 years harvest labor, he didn't have more than 125 people with him. But then, a whole revolution was brought about. So revolution means revolution. It has its own mechanics.
Dr. Roger, please.
Dr. Ahmed, I'm beginning to understand your line of thought at this point. You are outlining to us an idealized system which you have thought through deeply, and there's one process missing. That process is by which the caliphate becomes how it is created, the process of the creation. It comes about through the jihad. And yet we already know that the jihad in Pakistan has been commercialized by US money. But that's by the by. My main point is that revolution comes about through the overthrow of the state. And we know a great deal about revolution, because whatever revolution has happened in the past has always been determined by the process that the revolution comes about. And you haven't mentioned to us, you haven't discussed that actual process itself. Now, let us look at only very, very briefly one revolution. And that was the Russian Revolution. And the very process that that revolution took place undermined it. It was destroyed by the process itself. It was not destroyed, as you said, by the system of lack of incentives. That was a barrier. The key thing was that it tried to create a socialism in one country. And Trotsky wrote about that. And the point that I'm making is this. The Western ruling classes took up jihad, in using the modern terms, not their own term, but the Western ruling classes took up jihad against communism and fought it to the death. Because it was only in one country, a big country, a rich country, but in only one country. And the very process that your Islamic State is created has been missed out altogether. And the idealized version that you give us is only an idealized version, and we know from the past that the idealism from which it starts will be undermined by the process itself.
Well, I have to make two comments. Number one, the process through which a revolution comes is going to be the topic of my talk tomorrow. So you are ahead of the schedule. Number two, when I was discussing ayah number 59 of the 5th surah, I should have said, because the constraint of time was too much, that Quran has not discussed how these people of authority will come up. Oh, you who profess to believe, you have to obey God, His messenger, and the people of authority from amongst yourselves. How they will come up? By mutual consultation. But the process of mutual consultation can be different. As I said, in a tribal society, the chiefs of the tribes, the heads of different houses and dynasties, they sit together and they decide. So Abu Bakr was chosen. In the same way, Abu Bakr appointed Umar, but by consulting the people and having their consent. So these things, they are there, but today we can have a new system, and I said this adult franchise, and all the Muslims will be voting for the Caliph. So I think I had talked about that, but you very rightly pointed to a vacuum in my talk.
I would like to follow on the heels of Roger's comments. It seems to me that the methodological thrust of your talk in general is based on a certain normative understanding of Islam. First of all, on the understanding of the Quran, the Sunnah, but above all, on a limited part of Islamic history, especially in the first 20 years of early Islam during the rightly guided caliphate, Al-Khilafah Rashida. And in that sense,